the Todd Shapiro Show, SiriusXM 168.
The greatest voice ever to do any sport, any entertainment type of activity, anything when he's talking. And we are going to hear it right now, joining the program here on Canada Laughs, Channel 168, brought to you by Pete's Pizza, our man, Jim Ross. How you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm just so stoked that you're giving us a call. I know you're coming to town in a couple of days. Toronto being town because we broadcast to the world here on SiriusXM. More importantly, sir, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm in Las Vegas, getting ready to do a boxing event tomorrow night. So in downtown Las Vegas, it'll air in a lot of areas on the CBS Sports Network. So. Fun week. It's always nice to be in Vegas, and downtown's kind of an interesting animal in itself.
Doing any drinking in public? I love that town.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, occasionally I'll have a social cocktail.
Of course you will. So your phone dropped out for a second. What's the event called?
It's a Knockout Night at the D. It's a CBS Sports Network boxing event that'll air Friday night at midnight Eastern, live from Vegas. So it's a series we've been doing this year, featuring a lot of young fighters with really nice records, and so it's good against good. So it's fun. It's a good show.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. I would imagine no shortage of work for someone as legendary as you. Do you have fun sort of doing, kind of event to event to event, as opposed to sort of it was just kind of WWE and sort of that mainstay and traveling around with them?
I like that I'm not on the road 51 weeks a year.
Yeah.
I like that. The destinations were always cool, but the trips to arrive at those destinations could be a little snaky on the airline. So, and it's just as bad now, if not worse. So I like being able to pick my spots. And, I'm going to do a fight here on Friday night. Then I'm going to hop on a red eye, fly into Toronto, and get in there on Saturday morning, and then get ready for my weekend there. So, but everything I'm doing, I'm having fun doing. So it's not really like working, but you go out and make a little grocery money.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ringside with Jim Ross is Sunday, November 20th. Doors open at Second City in Toronto, and tickets are at jrsbarbecue.com. Why the barbecue.com? Is it, you sell a lot of barbecue stuff?
Yeah, we have a line of condiments, barbecue sauces, chipotle ketchup, jalapeno honey mustard, and some seasoning.
Oh yeah.
So,
oh man,
nice little side venture. We need to find a distributor in Canada that actually wants to make some money.
I'll do it,
because we can certainly sell a lot of product. We feel if we have the right distribution arm there.
What do you need? What do you need? I'll get you in 7-Elevens. What do you need? I'll get you everywhere. I'll get you in President's Choice. I'll get you in Loblaws. I'll get you in. Do we have Max Milks here anymore? Do we
yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it for you. Let's do a deal over the radio right here, like we're Shark Tank or Dragon's Den or something. Let's. What do you need? What?
I need a hookup, and with a hookup, the more we sell, the more money we make.
All right, you're talking to the man. No, I'm serious. Do I need to buy the rights? Do I need to give you a payment for distribution rights and sign a big 30-page contract, or is it like, hey Jimbo, watch this, by next week I'll have you in this store and just give me a nice cut?
I think that the latter is probably a better deal.
Yeah, but see, that's how I work. Like men, you shake a hand and you honor a deal. You work like that a lot?
Absolutely, absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with keeping your word. It's a rare art, but it still works.
It's a beautiful art. You know why? It's called longevity. And the people who didn't keep their word, they always come back and apologize one day over time. They do. And if you keep your word, you get relationships out of it, and there's loyalty. And the loyalty in those relationships usually keep you afloat no matter those peaks and valleys that you may be in life. And I'm being very honest here. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I'm experiencing that right now. My audience is very loyal, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'm grateful. And so it's been a good relationship with me and the folks that like my work for a long time. So, and then we get to share those experiences like we'll do this Sunday afternoon there at the Second City.
Oh, man, you're so beloved. And the Ross Report doing so well. Highly regarded, a podcast. Get it on iTunes and get it everywhere. I'm sure you can get it off your website, too, jrsbarbecue.com. Hey, quick talk about the WWE, because you're very focused on that in the podcast. Well, I'll just come right and ask. I mean, how's your relationship with them? It still surprises me that the best ever announcer isn't with them. And we kind of went through with that, some like in Hockey Night in Canada here, where there was a legendary main guy named Ron McLean, and they superseded him for young up-and-coming buck named George Stroumboulopoulos. And then, McLean now has his job as being the main guy again. And I always think, like, is that still maybe in the works for JR?
I don't think that I think that ship has sailed. And the reason being is that they got to get younger. They got to build to the future, one would think. And I'm certainly not the future. I was part of the past. I'm very viable in my mind's eye in the future, or in the present. But I don't really want to go back to work and go on the road 51 weeks a year and do a live Raw every Monday night. It's not. I don't have the motivation to do it. My relationship with the WWE is good.
Oh, good.
I got a text yesterday inviting me to attend as their guest the NXT show on Saturday night in Toronto. So, and I may take them up on it. A free ticket. What the hell? Free ticket's a free ticket. I may go. So they're nice to me. They're good, and they sell my products online. So we do some business together. So that's I just don't believe in carrying negative stuff with you, man. It's just you never know when your number's going to be called. Hell, I don't have a clue. I know this: when the good Lord calls me, I am going to be I'll be dying of wear, not rust.
When the good Lord says, "Stop the damn match."
Well, that's good. Do you have an extra ticket? You want to bring me? Okay, I'd love to go.
I don't. I have one ticket.
Hey, you ever, Jim? Now that you're just sitting with like the peasants, right? That just the regular guys watching a match. Does anyone ever ask you to remove the hat?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
What about when the missus is burning the muffins a little bit? Do you say, "Stop the damn batch"?
I've never used that, but and probably won't. But
I'm sorry.
No, he had to.
It's a quasi nice contribution to the conversation, nonetheless.
I love. There's nothing facetious about that whatsoever. Hey, Jim. Used to have the best calls and still do, and still great. Are there calls that you would have said, say, 20, 30 years ago in wrestling that you wouldn't in the sort of the latter days of doing the stuff at the WWE because of the hypersensitivity? And I have one in mind. I've one in mind that stands out that you said, and I don't know if you would say it later on in your career because of how everyone's a bunch of pussies. The one is you used to go like, "Oh, that's a Pearl Harbor attack." Like when someone would come from behind. Did you have to be careful of using things like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think at one time, for whatever reason, it was accepted. We obviously know what the reference was, December 7th, 1941. And it was so many Hawaiian athletes became Japanese villains after World War II. And they also had French Canadian guys becoming Germans after World War II, all playing on the war for an entertainment purposes, which is a little edgy in itself. But Hollywood was doing it, so wrestling did as well. So I wouldn't use that today, and I don't feel great about using it then, quite frankly. But it was just a part of the nomenclature and kind of went with the shtick of the job.
What's it like for you to know that anytime there's sort of some peculiar little viral type of stuff that go on online, whether it's like Shaquille O'Neal falling down while he's doing a TNT broadcast or something, and then people are splicing in JR calls, Jim Ross, masterful calls. That's got to feel good.
It feels, it's flattering, and sometimes they pull out sound bites that I've forgotten. And some of them they use over and over. The stuff from the Hell in a Cell with Foley and Undertaker is used a lot. The only one that I ever got someone shared with me was a Jamaican-produced porn movie. It had my at key moments. It had some of my sound bites, and that was a little uncomfortable to watch that, quite frankly.
That's where the batch one came, did it? Okay.
It just wasn't a good cultural fit. I'm not a prude, but I didn't want to hear my voice over Jamaican pornography. It didn't work for me.
I can only imagine. Hunter Collins co-hosting dating. Any questions for our man?
Yeah,
over here?
I've got like a cross promotion idea. We could get your hottest JR barbecue condiment, and then get Mr. Fuji to throw it into the eyes of the good guy in the ring, blinding him, paving the way for Hulk Hogan to come down and pin Yokozuna. What do you think?
Well, considering that Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji are both dead, it might be a little hard to pull off.
Oh, no.
Oh, way to go, Hunter.
I didn't mean to bring that up.
That was a recent death, actually. That was only within the last 6 months,
Mr.
right?
Fuji?
Mr. Fuji died of, he was in his 80s, I think. And, of course, Yokozuna pretty much ate himself to death, and which was sad because what a talented guy he was. But nonetheless, the hot barbecue sauce has many, many uses. never. I've been asked, can we use your hot sauce, your barbecue sauce as a lubricant in our bedroom? I said, well, of course you can, if you're an idiot.
And then they put it in a Jamaican porn video. It was very weird.
Scotch bonnets?
Yes. Yeah. I guess.
So, do you ever have strange requests for people to come and have you do I'm just like, if I'm Major League Baseball, which is kind of boring, right? Major League Baseball announcers are kind of boring. I would go, well, let's get Jim Ross to do Major League Baseball games. Have you ever had any kind of request like that? That's what I would do because I'm a visionary.
I did a piece for Fox Sports this past year at the All-Star break. I think I did a voiceover of the Home Run Derby.
Oh, okay.
So that was kind of fun, and so I like to explore those opportunities. Those things are fun. I did something else. Oh, I did a NASCAR fight between two drivers. And that was kind of fun.
Is that on YouTube? We gotta find that one. Is that on YouTube, Jim?
I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But it was good because neither guy could fight, and we took some liberties with them verbally on that deal. But some of those projects are fun to do, and it's just something different, guys. That's all. Something different, something fun and different.
Hang on. Here's Jim Ross doing commentary for a NASCAR driver fight. Have a listen.
Gentlemen, here at the Gateway Motorsports Park. This is a very volatile situation indeed because Townley's smirking. This could be a very dangerous situation for these two men. John West Townley, who loves that Zaxby's chicken, and who doesn't, getting out of his car, unfolding here. Spencer Gallagher is obviously irate. Turn the children away. It's not going to get pretty here. What the hell is this? There's a takedown on the concrete. They're rolling around like two old women. My God, there's like two trust fund babies. John Wesley Townley with a seat roll. Now he's got a front face lock. What's he doing here? Oh, my God. My God, it's a DDT, ladies and gentlemen. The DDT scores on the pavement. Let him go. He's got a family, for God's sakes. And they love chicken. My God, it's a summer knocker. The Zaxby people are good people. The chicken man's trying to get a chicken wing on his opponent. Let me tell you one thing. You want to talk about toughness? You know who's tough out there? The damn concrete, not those two yahoos.
That must be a blast going and doing that kind of stuff.
It's fun even when you're sober.
Well, it's fun even watching it when you're sober. Hey, how about this? I got a great idea. I wonder if anyone's ever pitched you this one. Okay, Jay, are you ready for it? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you're like, yeah, get on with it, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're boring the fuck out of me here. Jim Ross doing GPS. You're the voice of a GPS system. We do a GPS app, and then when people want to go places, instead of like, oh, make a right or whatever the stupid board, it's you getting people excited to get to their destination.
That's interesting.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm a visionary.
I'm trying to restrain my enthusiasm and exuberance. Hey, look, I have a sign. I think I'm going to have some T-shirts made. JR will talk for food.
I'm going to create an app, and then we're going to get you to do the voice for it. So then someone just plugs it in through their Google Maps, and it just goes, somehow they connect, and then it's your voice doing GPS. I'm telling you, that'll be the most popular thing in the world. Dude, we're going to be multi, I'm sure you already are, but I might be a multi-millionaire because we'll do that. Sound good?
I'll sit by the phone. What you call.
Well, I'll come pitch it to you to Toronto. I'll get some big business guys, and we'll get her going. Dude, I'm so grateful for your time. You really are such a legend. You know, I'm a little bit older now, so I don't watch as much wrestling. And I'm not saying that old guys shouldn't watch wrestling. I'm just saying I don't have as much free time. But
Sure.
how long were you doing the calls for? How many years? And was it for you?
I was in WWE for 21, and I was in the business 19 prior to that. So 40 years and still doing it. I got this part-time job as a senior in college, and I thought I'd work in wrestling for the summer, have some great stories to tell my buddies at Nickel Beer Night, and that summertime job lasted 40 years, and I'm still loving it. Really, I'm doing these shows like I'm doing Sundays. Just fun because it's casual, it's intimate. You get to talk to the audience. They get to ask whatever questions they want. It's like a really good. It's invigorating for me. It helps me to kind of stay young, and I love to have There's nothing like, guys, having a room full of wrestling fans, having a few cocktails, and then getting an open mic. It's a very unpredictable journey, and we have a lot of fun doing them.
Well, you're the best. You're the David Attenborough of commentating for sure.
Well, whoever David is, I feel sorry for the bastard.
Bilal is our producer and the biggest wrestling nut for sure of the bunch. And I imagine you'll be at the 20th event at Second City. And you just go to jrsbarbecue.com and go and get your tickets. It's happening in Toronto. And there's a tour across North America. So look for, if you're listening anywhere, look for where it is near you. But what kind of question, Bilal, would you want to get intimate with the JR about? And I mean, this guy is the relationships and the friendships with all the wrestling community that he would have.
So JR, the big question I want to ask you is WWE brought the Cruiserweight class back with the Cruiserweight Classic, and they brought the whole division to Raw. The division's going to be defended at Survivor Series, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a Cruiserweight-specific show, which is called 205 Live, coming to the WWE Network. How great is it for you, even just as a fan, even beyond being a broadcaster, to see that kind of wrestling style come back? Because it really disappeared to a large extent for 5 or 10 years there. So I just would love your opinion on that.
I think that it's great because guys of that size grouping, 205 pounds or less, there's some really, really talented athletes out there that deserve a chance to live their dream like everybody else. I think that the cruiserweights probably will end up on SmackDown because their TV shows will be taped after SmackDown on those Tuesday nights, I'm told. So that would make logistical sense. But I think it's just going to take time for the fans to understand who these cruiserweights are and why I should like them or not, and for them to get over. It's just going to take some time. But I applaud WWE for doing it because that way they have added highly skilled individuals to their roster, and now it's up to them to make those highly skilled individuals compelling TV characters. That takes some time.
That's shocking. I never would have. I didn't even think about the taping implications of this 205 Live show. Obviously, Jim, you've been in the business forever, so you're thinking of it from a logistical standpoint. So that's absolutely shocking to me that you're essentially saying that you think on Sunday the cruiserweight title is going to go to Kalisto, and the entire division is going to go from Monday night to Tuesday night to sync up the tapings, and that's going to be absolutely like that blew my mind. I'll shut up now.
I wish I knew what both of you said. Okay. Jim, the one thing I do know is the Survivor Series is going down. Huge Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, and Goldberg's back. Do you have any predictions for this match, sir?
Yeah, I actually even wrote about it in my blog this week at the world's loneliest website, jrsbarbecue.com. And I have so bravely predicted that Bill Goldberg, on his return to the ring, will lose in Toronto inside 15 minutes, bell to bell, in what will probably be a very straightforward physical match, highlighted by many strikes and a lot of grimacing. I think it'll be I think those guys will have a fun performance. They both are a lot alike away from the ring. They're very they have their own values, their own opinions, and they don't mind saying what they are. I like both guys. They're stand-up guys. So I think they'll go out there and have a lot of fun. They're both just big overgrown kids that are big jocks that are going to make a whole lot of money in Toronto on Sunday for wrestling.
That's amazing. The Raw versus sort of the SmackDown side. It's a really interesting strategy that the WWE has done in the last few years. You know, think American League versus National League or something. You know, in baseball, whatever. Is it exciting for wrestling fans to see people who wouldn't normally go against each other go against each other? Like, is that a real big thing?
Yeah, I think wrestling fans are just they're a microcosm of all society. We like surprises. We like to get more than we bargained for. We like to get more than we paid for, type thing. We like to see something that's different and unique. The Lesnar and Goldberg have only wrestled once in their lives, and that was 12 years ago. And Goldberg won that match. So it's a long time to come for the rematch, but the match is fresh, and for a lot of us, and I'm looking forward to it. I think of all the things that are going on in Toronto Sunday, other than my show, of course, that match is probably the most eagerly anticipated match at the Survivor Series, because it just features two guys that are perceived to be big stars, and you're not going to see them again next week. This is a one-off in my view, because I don't see Goldberg coming back at 49 years of age wanting to go back on the road all the time. And Lesnar, he doesn't work full time either. So I think you're looking at a one-off deal, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah,
it is super cool when you put it in that perspective. It might be kind of one of the last times you ever see him wrestle. Go check it out. One of the things I commend the WWE on, Mr. Jim Ross, is the development of women's wrestling. And I think it seemed more shticky in the day and the divas and this and that. But it's so highlighted with equality, which I think is so important in this day and age. And they were sort of ahead of their time with that stuff. It must make you feel proud, even though you're not necessarily associated too deeply with the WWE anymore. But to see how, women wrestlers are kick-ass wrestlers, the way we think of women fighters, say, in the UFC or something. And it really is amazing how this isn't just about stick and sex appeal. This is about just the back to what you said, to wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah, athleticism. It's the Ronda Rousey effect. You got a very athletic, intense, highly skilled female in Ronda Rousey, who's also has an ample amount of sex appeal in the eyes of most. And so I think WWE's doing the right thing there. When I was in charge of the talent roster, we really enhanced our female division. Trish Stratus was a great star for me, and I signed her. And
wow, we love her over here, by the way. She's such a big supporter of our program.
Yeah, Trish was a class act, and really was a credit to our locker room. But we had a really good group of women that could wrestle, and then then the charge was to get sexier and all that. So when I ended up getting out of that area, that's kind of when it changed a lot. Not because of me, just because I think timing, but. I think that WWE's done a great job in recruiting and training. Their developmental center in Orlando does a hell of a job in training the women, and the women are finding out that you got to have a good look. You're still doing television, but you damn sure got to be an athlete, and you got to be physically and mentally tough, because the lifestyle is just, it's tough, man. It's really on the road. Is so much. It's just really challenging for everybody, no matter your gender.
Hey, tell me to F off whenever you got to go, but I could talk to you all day long, and our next guest is late too, it looks like. But when you were discovering talent, who sort of was someone you took a gamble on, Jim, that you weren't so sure of, and you're like, my goodness, that was the best gamble I ever did, because they have really paid off for the company?
Well, we had one class that we sent to Cincinnati, Louisville, in Ohio Valley Wrestling, that had Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, and Shelton Benjamin in it. That I can recall. It was a pretty good class. I think when I signed The Rock, he had $7 to his name, which is why he calls his production company $7 Entertainment. But he had a little pedigree. Grandpa was a great wrestler. His dad was a really good wrestler. But Rock had just been cut from the Calgary Stampeders of the CFL, and obviously, and so I didn't know if he was going to be a great wrestler or not. But I looked him; he passed my eyeball test. I liked what I saw in the ring of his drills, And then we went to this restaurant to eat. Every woman in the damn room was coming by our table to offer something. Or bread, whatever. So just to see him. And I knew at that time that there was something very special about him. And if his physical skills could match up to his look and his charisma and his magnetic smile, we had a star in our hands. And obviously, he really exceeded everybody's expectations and is now the highest paid movie star in the world.
And the sexiest man alive just got named that this week.
Yeah, and a good dude too, man. Really, he's not an asshole. He's a good guy.
I love hearing stuff like that. I can only imagine what it's going to be like, the stories that you get to share and people hear, obviously, and asking these types of questions on the 20th at Second City in Toronto. Go to jrsbarbecue.com. Is there a question that annoys you don't want to hear, so we'll just let people know that now not to ask it on, one that you get all the time?
I never censor anybody because if they're nice enough to pay money and come to me,
yeah.
I don't, what the hell. You get tired of talking about the 1997 Montreal screw job.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get that in this Sunday afternoon before the Survivor Series in Canada. There'll be somebody in my audience who will want to know about the 1997 Montreal screw job, expecting me to have this brand new, never disclosed information. There isn't any that I'm aware of. And then a lot of people want to know if I think that should Chris Benoit be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame? And I get that question a lot. And the answer is real simple. No, I don't. And I have reasons. Happy to share them with you. But
yeah, what are your reasons?
Well, I know him. I hired him. I know him very well. I don't think that he would ever want to be a part of the distraction that him going to the Hall of Fame would create. Then the Hall of Fame would cease being about his in-ring accomplishments or anybody else in that class, and all about the murder-suicide of that on that fateful weekend in Georgia. I just think it would be a huge distraction. And knowing him when he was, mentally stable and everything, I just don't think he would want to be a party to it. And that's that's my thoughts and honest thoughts on that matter. I just don't think so.
I think they're good, honest, fair thoughts. Do a lot of people ask you? I didn't mean to get too deep here, but we're sort of leading down that way. But a lot of tragedies that have happened with a lot of former wrestlers and stuff, and it seems like it's getting better, and it seems like it's more positive, and wrestlers are really taking care of themselves and not abusing themselves and stuff. Does that come up a lot?
It's not as topical as it used to be. I think you're right. Your observation is on the money. That I think a lot of wrestlers this generation have grew up being students of the game to some degree and fans. They also then shared in all the programming that was available, the documentaries where they could see about some of these tragedies and learn about them, so the history didn't repeat itself. So I think guys, by and large, men and women are taking very care of themselves. They have more information. They have more leadership. They have more preparation as far as what's good nutritionally and all this stuff. The training's better, but it's still a hard job. But I think they're making better decisions, and that's what it was always about all along. It wasn't the wrestling business fault that an individual makes a bad decision and decides to do drugs. I can't. That's the biggest cop out in the world. It's total bullshit. It's just absolutely embarrassing that people would shed their own responsibility and blame it on somebody else because they developed a drug problem. It's weak. It's weak. They should look in the mirror and ask for and be honest with themselves and get some help, change their life. What the hell? It can be done.
Well put, man.
That's like blaming radio for some ailment you might have.
Yeah.
Job. Bullshit.
Yeah, I could get in control of my own. I don't have to show up here every day. I could do whatever I want to do. So I understand that, which is why I don't blame anyone for me wearing very silly drop crotch pants. It's just my own thing, okay? And I don't blame radio on doing that. JR, you worked with Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. I sure did.
Donald Trump, tell us, your personal experience with Donald, if you don't mind, and just sort of your thoughts on the latest election and him now being the next president of the United States of America.
Well, he is an interesting guy. I enjoy talking with him. We had several conversations. We didn't go into deep politics or nothing because at the time we were doing a wrestling storyline where his hair and Vince McMahon's hair was on the line. That was at WrestleMania 23. It did, and by the way, it was, I think, the biggest pay-per-view event that WWE ever produced.
Wow.
2007, the Battle of the Billionaire, and so McMahon got his head shaved. In the meantime, the Donald got a Stone Cold Stunner, and we had fun with it. He was willing to go along with things. He was willing to try stuff. He wasn't a trained wrestler. He didn't have any lessons. He obviously by the looks of that stunner that he took was kind of ugly, but he had the balls to do it in front of 80,000 people in a worldwide audience. He had the courage to experiment and do some things out there. So I admired that of him. He always he seemed to be always observant of what's going on, especially when the women were around. He kind of enjoyed looking over the ladies, but I did too. So
Yeah.
I can't.
He's got a move called the crossface pussy hold, I hear.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
That's news. That's another new one. You're just shocking me with new information.
This is like why Jim doesn't want to do radio interviews mostly. So he was a student of the entertainment aspect of the game, and then he went along and he had the big balls. Were you surprised to see him get the popular? Well, he didn't get the popular vote, but the electoral vote. Were you surprised to see him now be the president-elect of your country?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't know. I knew that the country, like a lot of countries, are tired of professional politicians. And I think that resonated very loudly in the United States, and the reason that Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. Some people were curious of why she and her husband had accumulated a $150 million fortune on public servants' money, and it's just the public servant's a dirty word, and unfortunately for a lot of people. Trump was at least a non-politician who had some success as a businessman. You got to think that he's a narcissist, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Maybe you can't make it a positive way.
In a Lex Luger way, maybe.
Maybe so. But the deal is that guys like him don't like to fail. And so I don't think he has a desire to be the worst president in American history. I think his ego is going to drive him to be probably a better president than people think. And a lot of it is dependent on what's going on right now and who he selects to be on his staff and who he surrounds himself with. So, hey, I was surprised, but I'm willing to see how he does and give him a fair chance, and hopefully he'll change a few things and make and fix the problems that we have.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. And I think I think that not only giving him a chance is important, but I always look to say, hey, look how he treated people on The Apprentice. He never judged him. He didn't judge him. He just based things on performance. So hopefully he just bases things on performance now. And maybe he was just doing the wrestling heel, knowing that would really help with his votes. I really believe that he learned a lot from the WWE in order to go and win the election. I wholeheartedly stand by that statement, as ludicrous as it sounds. He knew what he needed to do to go and get votes. He played a heel man. And most politicians break their promises. They're usually good promises. He'll probably just break them, but they're the bad promises. So people out there, freaking out, give the guy a chance. I know you can say whatever you want about him, bigot, misogynist, blah blah blah. There's still let him fail first before you go and jump on him. JR, man, you're a gem, and I can't believe how much time you gave us. We're so grateful for it. We have a nice connection too. We both have done some stuff on yourshow.tv with our friend Ira over there, who's creating a new channel, so you can look for some of Jim's stuff on Your Show. And you're just amazing. You're doing so much stuff now. CBS Boxing. We're going to see at your show, your actual show, here on November 20th at Second City. Go to jrsbarbecue.com, ringside with Jim Ross, and ask him all these types of questions and more. It's going to be a slobber knocker, that's no doubt. And I just can't wait to continue to follow what you're doing with your podcast too, the Ross Report. And so nice to know that you're in touch with so many people, and those genuine fans can always get you, because you are, like I said, it's not kissing your ass. You're a very beloved guy, man. Very, very grateful to have you on the program.
I'm very blessed to be where I am, and I really appreciate you having me on, and hope you can come to my show. If you're I got a ticket for you. If you want to show up, I'm going to also be coming to Phoenix, Arizona, and San Antonio in January. Of course, my shows are always at WrestleMania as well. So I enjoy these shows. I enjoy. It's not just a dollar deal. The rooms are too small to make a lot of money. Let's be honest about it. But the experiences are fun as hell. Just the energy, it keeps you fresh. It's fun. You get a lot of laughs out of it. It's a cool experience. So you're welcome to my show anytime, and I really do appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, sir. I will be there. I'm going to come down. It's around the corner from my house, and your GPS voice will get me there. So thank you very much, Jim.
Thanks,
We'll talk to you soon.
Make a right turn.
At JR's Barbecue.
Now, stupid.
Okay. Keep going. I interrupted you. Okay.
That's just a small sample of what it could be.
Okay.
Our dreams, all of our financial dreams could come true right on this radio show today. All JR's condiments coming to Canada, and the GPS the world is waiting on.
Can't wait. At JR's BBQ on Twitter, and go to jrsbarbecue.com. Obviously, just online. We'll talk to you soon, my man.
Left turn.
Cheers.
The Todd Shapiro Show.
All right, we really appreciate you watching that video. Make sure you check out some more videos. Why not? Let's get caught in the Shapiro Show vortex right here. Or you can subscribe to the channel right here and check out videos at any point, because we're going to give you all the alerts. We do appreciate you being a part of our family. Most families hate each other, not ours. We love you.